So I have my laptop here. Yeah. I'm gonna kind of combine the questions that I got from 2 years ago for the first vlog that I promised that I never got to doing, and I'm combining them with the ones that I got 2 weeks ago from the new vlog that I posted. So yeah, here goes. Alright, Sock Puppet was first. He asked, how does Ro get to visit a person? Some of you might not know this, but I've actually met a lot of you guys in real life. I've met Rick, I've met Jamie006, I met Link64, I've met Eric, I've met Trapte, I've met Clueless222. So yeah, quite a few, considering most of you guys have not met anyone. And they're actually kind of spread out, because, you know, Rick's in England, Clueless is somewhere down south in the US, Eric is in the north. So yeah, I've gotten around to meeting a couple of you guys. To be honest, what does one have to do? Well, honestly, you just have to be my friend. That's all. Actually, a really good friend. Yeah, I've actually spoke to Rick about a year before I went to meet him. Spoke to Eric for about the same time. James was kind of a different story. Sorry, Link64, because when I started talking to him, it was when I already knew I was gonna meet him. After we arranged all the plans with Rick, so he was kind of different. So yeah. So I actually I have a list right here of requirements. 1, be my friend for at least 6 months. 2, live in a cool place. Obviously, if you live in the middle of the Arizona desert, I'm not gonna. No, just no. And number 3 is offer me shelter, because even though I managed to pay for all these trips, I can't really afford lodging. So, because that's the most expensive part of the trip. It's like $100 per night if you're lucky. So, and if I'm going somewhere far away, I'm not gonna spend 2 days there. I can spend at least a week. So, offer me shelter, please. So, second question comes from Mr. Moniker. I love Mr. Moniker. He's awesome. What's your favorite type of frilly, flaky pastry? That's a weird question. I don't know about frilly, but apple turnover is yummy. You know, it's funny looking at the questions from 2 years ago and seeing people that I have not heard of in forever. For example, the next couple questions are from Heather. First one, do you love me? It's kind of hard not to. Unfortunately, I haven't spoken to you in a while, but you know, love never fades. But yeah, Heather, if you see this, just comment below. Alright, the next couple questions are from Cheese, which is, one of them is actually kind of ironic. First one, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Well, it actually depends on a few things. It depends on, like, the acidity of your saliva, the components of your saliva as well, the age of the lollipop, the alignment of the planets, you know, the blood of your ancients, I don't know, but no less than, I'm gonna guess, no less than 5. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good number. Yep. Second question, what's it like being an IRC op? This is the ironic question because Cheese actually made it to IRC admin between then and now. But yeah, for those that don't know, I used to be a chat op up to not too long ago. It was actually a pretty laid back job. I had a lot of fun, you know, chatting with a lot of you guys. Unfortunately, when I had to enforce the rules, you know, it was kind of a must. But I don't know, sometimes it was really easy to get into inappropriate topics, especially when you're chatting live. But, you know, it happens, you know, just gotta do what you must. I kind of miss it, but no, it just doesn't feel like home anymore. But, you know, cheers to all my IRC friends. Last question. Why change from Friv to Rogue? Well, back in 08, I actually used to go by Friv before I changed to Rogue. This was around the time that I did the name change between 08 and 09 maybe. But yeah, Frib was actually short for Frivolous Rogue, which was my username back in the Nintendo Insider forums, which are the official Nintendo forums that I used to go to before I joined FC. Um, uh, However, because my name was so long, people just used to call me Frib, which I was fine with, and it just stuck with me. And when I signed up to FC, um, I decided to go for Frib because it was short. Whatever. It was back then. I didn't expect to be as huge a part of FC as I was. But yeah, the reason I changed from Frib to Rogue was because during the time of the name change, a lot of people were changing them to real names. Like, for example, Des used to be known as Eddie, R1KK1 used to be Rick, Link64 used to be James, and so on and so forth. So I decided, to go by the name that I go through in real life. So I go by in real life. So I decided to just switch to Rogue. So yeah, that's the answer to the question. Of course, someone had to ask this question, but KT asks, what was the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you? I tell the story a lot because I think it's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. It was back in middle school, so it was about 7th grade. I just met the person that I really liked and I was really attracted to, and so one day, for some reason, there was a substitute teacher, and you know how people are with substitutes. They never pay attention, they walk around, they do whatever. So me and a couple friends were all the way in the back, just having fun. We played Magic the Gathering, we played Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. And then this person comes up, and I offer my seat. I'm like, you want to sit down? Whatever. Unfortunately, it had just rained that day, and the floor was really, really slippery. So when I went up to offer my chair, I actually slipped. I fell to my knees, and I had to grab on something real quick, and suddenly I find myself on my knees with my arms grabbing into this person's butt, and my face on their crotch, and I just wanted to die there. I felt myself go beet red, and it was hilarious, but it was probably the most embarrassed I have ever been, because I like this person, and so embarrassing. But yeah, we'll never forget that ever. Alright, the next couple questions are from Ether. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Cake or SD? SD or cake? Cake, obviously. I love cake. Can't have enough cake. My birthday was 2 weeks ago, and I had a cake all to myself, which was awesome. That, and I don't know what SD is. Okay, second question is, why did you join FC? Sorry, my phone is ringing. Just ignore it. To be completely honest, I joined out of boredom. As I mentioned before, I was a part of the Insider forums, and those closed down, and there was kind of a hole in my life for being online, chatting with friends and all of that. And Insider is where I met Brad, who some of you guys know as Asian Adventure. No, the Asian Invasion. So he and I had been talking for such a long time, and he used to go to FC a lot, and he was it admin? I don't know, it was something like that, and he required people to join for the moderation team, and since he trusted me, he asked me right off the bat, do you want to join this website, do you want to be a moderator right off the bat? And I said sure. So that's the reason I joined FC. So I actually got promoted to moderator with only 13 posts or something like that. I don't regret it. I love FC as much as the next guy. But yeah, that's my FC story. The next one is from one of my favorite FC users, Baseballer. Baseball! How many questions were before mine? I think I counted them, and I think there are 10, but I could be wrong. Then again, I might edit this like when I'm done, and I might like switch the order of the questions and all that. But I think it was 10. Okay, so it says, being rogue, do you find yourself always breaking rules and refusing to conform? Nah, I'm actually really well behaved. I'm like one of the most obedient people, you know. Of course, it doesn't mean that I abide by every single rule. You know, there are some rules that I really want to kick in the butt and just replace with other stuff. But no, overall, I'm satisfied with the way things are. If something needs to be changed, you know, I'll go ahead and make the first step to change it. But I usually go by what people say. You know, sometimes it's not worth the effort. Apple or banana? Definitely apples. I just hate the texture of bananas, and every time I have something that's banana flavored, I feel it in my mouth and it's just like, ugh. So, my husband asks, do you want my babies? Of course I do. For those who don't know, my husband is Jag. He's my baby cakes. You know, I love him. A lot of you guys are probably confused about that last question. Well, let me just explain, because Mayaku has actually just asked about it. So he asked, what's the relationship between you and Jag? We're soulmates, you know. We're actually married, and if you're married on Facebook, you're obviously married anywhere. Will you have his babies? Over and over again. I'll have Jag's babies until I die. Mayaku continues asking, where did Frib go? I went to England, obviously. And then he edited another question and was cheating, but whatever. How many licks does it take to get the center of a rogue? Let's just say a right click in the right spot, and I'll show you my GUI center. Alright. Of course, Just Insane 4 had to ask something, because, you know, he's my other lover. Okay, so why is Dunkin' Donuts the only place where you can still use styrofoam cups? It's obvious that Dunkin' Donuts, it's evil. They're just wasteful bastards that make good donuts, terrible coffee, and hire immigrants. Yep. So yeah, they're just evil all over. Another question from a person I have not seen in a very, very long time. Nintendo Man 101 asks, who is your favorite author? I actually had to think about this one a lot, because I love to read, but for some reason I don't remember what I read. I just remember enjoying it. But like I read Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice, and she's probably one of my favorite authors. She actually also wrote a trilogy which I really love, which I won't say the name on here because it's kind of a lot more adult themed. But she wrote it and I read all three of them. They were really, really good. They were very different from what I usually read. So yeah. So there's Anne Rice. I love Edgar Allan Poe's creepiness inside, you know, his stories. I actually, for one of my reading classes, short story classes, I had to write a short story myself, and I based it on one of, like, it was a continuation of a story we had read, and I decided to do it on Poe's, and I thought it turned out incredible. So if you guys want to read it, I'll put a link down below for the original story and my sequel, and we'll see if you guys like it. What else do I like? I love Stephen King. I've read probably about 8 books by Stephen King. I actually gave Eddie it for Christmas, so and I think he enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure he said he did. But it's like almost 2,000 pages worth of stuff. It's just so incredibly detailed, so incredibly told, and it's just amazing. So yeah, it is probably my favorite Stephen King novel. That or The Shining, which The Shining movie sucked. What else? Obviously, J.K. Rowling, whatever, Harry Potter series. Always loved them. But yeah, those are my top choices right there. Alright, the next couple questions are from a user that I had honestly never heard of before. I'm sorry, but thanks for asking. Wanderer asks, Malou? Come again? I have no idea what he's trying to ask here. Do you know what a chivito is? I do not, but if I had to venture a guess, I would probably say a small goat. I don't know. He's really weird. Alright, his next question is actually kind of long. Extremely hot, but selfish and shallow chick, or loving, caring, but ugly one? And I mean extremely hot one. She'd be the perfect chick, physically, for you, while the other would be the perfect one emotionally. I would have to say neither, and I think the reason is obvious. He asks, Zelda, Mario, or Metroid? Hands down Zelda. I love Zelda. I have played almost every single one of them. I'm obviously not counting the CDI Philips Zeldas, but I've played ever since the original Zelda, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages of Seasons, Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Minish Cap, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass. I feel like I'm forgetting a couple. But yeah, I've pretty much played them all. And I'm gonna play Skyward Sword when it comes out. Mario is okay. I enjoy some of it, but I could do without Mario. I think I enjoy some of the sports games, Mario Kart, Mario Golf. Some of the Mario Parties, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 were actually really good. But no, I feel like Mario has not changed as much as Zelda has. And to be completely honest, I've only played Metroid Prime 1 and 2. I have not played the original Metroids at all. Which I saw Clueless play one the other day, and it looks pretty fun, but it's just way too much backtracking for me. Referring to the question above, of the two ones you did not pick, which one do you prefer? Again, I would have to say Mario, because I have not played Metroid that much, unfortunately. But yeah. Cool. Next question he asks is, best console of all times? I would have to say either the Nintendo 64 or the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo had a lot of amazing RPGs, and I'm a big fan of RPGs, or at least I was when I had time to play them. So Super Nintendo had Final Fantasy, what was it, 4, 5, and 6, which 5 is my favorite one. Not a lot of people have played it because it was never released in the US until 10 years after it was originally released in Japan. And it was actually released only for the PlayStation here, so it sucks. It also had Chrono Trigger. It had I was just talking to Rick about this the other day. It had a lot of really cool RPGs. For the Nintendo 64, it's actually the console I had the most games on because of games like Mischief Makers, GoldenEye 007, Yoshi's Story, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, as I've already said. Perfect Dark. So yeah, it had a lot of really cool titles, and I think that's probably the first console that was ever actually hardcore about. Oh, and Star Fox, which I forgot Star Fox. So yeah, those are my top choices for consoles. Other than that, I have my 360 right here. It's the only console I currently have. So yeah. So Wanderer had one last question for me. He asks, do you play any instruments? And if you do, why don't you play something for us? I am musically challenged. I don't know how to play any instruments whatsoever. I can't sing, I can't play guitar, I can barely play the triangle. I play a mean rock band, but that's not really playing an instrument. What I do have is something that I actually got from Eurogamer, which I thought was pretty cool. I got it for free, so I just had to do a long line and answer a question to get it. But here you go. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. It's my ocarina time.